So in this video, I was using Alucard in the gold lane, and that's the emblem I used for him. Hopefully you saw it. Last time I used Alucard, I was using Master Assassin instead of Festival of Blood. But the problem is, Master Assassin becomes useless once the enemies start grouping up, so I think in most cases, Festival of Blood is better. Also, when I'm in the gold lane, I always take his first skill first. And as much as possible, don't engage if you're not yet level 2. Or better yet, wait until you're level 4 before fighting your lane opponent, because your combo won't be enough without your ultimate, and you'll just lose the trade due to their range. Just like what happened here, I tried to fight Layla at level 2, but the damage wasn't enough, and my position got even worse because Estes immediately rotated. So I did get killed there. But when I hit level 4, watch how easy it is for Alucard to kill a marksman, mainly because of Alucard's passive that lets him dash toward the enemy after using a skill. That's the biggest reason why Alucard can definitely be used in the gold lane. And aside from that, he also has a first skill that can be used to engage or escape. That's why I can really say Alucard has enough mobility to be used in the gold lane, and he can easily close the gap on a marksman. So here, Layla actually survived, but I'm sure Farsa can easily finish her off. Yeah, just watch what Farsa is going to do. I feel like Farsa pitied Layla, that's why she didn't kill her. She probably thought it's better if she dies instead. This part is really funny because Angela used her ultimate on Glue, while Glue was also attached to an enemy. It's funny, but her ultimate was totally useless in that moment. If only she used it on me, we might have wiped out the enemies here. And by the way, our jungler in this game was Glue. And no kidding, my teammates in this match were really dumb. I don't get why there are still a lot of players who trash talk when you use an unorthodox hero in the gold lane. Then by the end of the game, they're the ones getting carried, which is actually pretty funny. And it feels so good to expose those kinds of players. I mean, if you're already loud during drafting, just make sure you're actually good at the game. But what ends up happening is your trash talk is stronger than your gameplay. And don't they feel embarrassed when they get carried by the very player they trash talked? Because that would be super embarrassing if it were me. But players like that really have no shame and are just unbelievably thick-faced. So look at the map. Can you believe Alice got a maniac almost on his own? Well, technically Xavier assisted, but not by much. But seriously, Alice, guys, that hero isn't even in the meta. Compare that to my teammates who are mostly using meta heroes and are super strong right now. I told you I couldn't rely on my teammates, and then look, after they got wiped out, some wanted to surrender. If we think about it, it's really not that unreasonable to use Alucard in the gold lane. And I actually think Alucard is even better than most marksmen if you're a solo player. If you used a tank in the gold lane, okay, I'd understand if people got mad. But fighters, especially damage fighters, are totally viable in the gold lane when you're playing solo, because marksmen aren't that relevant in that situation. Teammates get mad at me for not picking a marksman, but I honestly think I can carry better when I'm not using a marksman in the gold lane, since most marksmen are super dependent on tanks and teammates. And if your teammates are dumb, it's really hard to carry on your own. But in a 5-man setup, where everyone's coordinated and skilled, that's when marksmen start to matter. When you're a solo player, it's a completely different game. It's so hard to use heroes that rely on teammates. Both 5-man and solo queue are hard. 5-man is hard because the enemies are strong too, since they're also a 5-man. Solo queue is hard because your own teammates are the ones who drag you down. But I've experienced both, and for me, solo queue is definitely harder. Imagine your own teammate ends up being more of an enemy, and it often turns into a 1v9 match. In 5-man, it feels like a normal game, the kind of game we all expect. Competitive teams, no toxicity or trash talk, and in less than 50% of 5-man games, the opponents are actually insanely good. Most of the time, they don't even play together regularly, or they only do 5-man once in a while. But as a solo player, expect that in 90% of your games, you'll have at least one toxic or dark system teammate. It's harder to deal with your own teammates than the actual enemies. Healers are really a hard counter to Glue because their HP just keeps coming back, even if Layla is being dumb and targeting Glue while her teammates are also taking damage. That could have been a kill if only Estes wasn't there. Have you noticed my teammates are always getting wiped out? And I don't even know why Angela keeps insisting on using her ultimate on Glue. If it were me, I'd attach to the stronger player. She only has one job, and that's to attach to me, but she still can't do it. Glue doesn't even need Angela's ultimate unless it's Lucas, right? Good thing I managed to survive that part. And I think if I were using a marksman here, we would have already lost because the enemies could easily burst me down, there's no one protecting me, and no one setting up plays. My teammates are all over the place, especially Temu's. I mean, if you're using Angela and you have a strong teammate, you should at least get a gold medal, right? But this Angela still flopped in this game. This is what's great about using a hero with a dash. You can easily engage and close in on enemies when needed, and you can also escape and create distance when things get rough. This is one of Masha's problems. Her ultimate is mainly for charging in. So when she's the one being chased, it's hard for her to run away, especially if her battle spell is on cooldown. And if we compare that to Alucard, his passive almost gives him unlimited dashes toward enemies, while Masha's skill can only be used up to 3 times in a fight. In this part, the enemy heroes were strong at defending, so I knew we couldn't end the game yet, especially when they're grouped up because of Estes. So I just pushed the other turret instead and waited for the perfect moment for them to split up, so I could push the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. Temu's got way too aggressive there. He probably thought he was using Argus with immortality or something. Finally, Angela chose to ult on me instead of Glue. Just kidding, she should have gone with Glue in that situation. Is using Angela really that hard that you can't figure out who to attach to depending on the situation?
Solitude is my closest friend.
And here, notice the lag. Do you still experience this when you play? I mean, the ping is green, but it still spikes and the lag gets really bad. You can clearly see it in the video. Even up to this point, it's still lagging even though my ping looks fine. Am I the only one experiencing this? Has Moonton still not fixed this issue? So yeah, after we wiped out the enemy, we ended the game right away. It's really hard to carry teammates while you're lagging. Most of the time, you just can't win in that kind of situation. My games are proof that you don't need a marksman to win, and even if you use a marksman, it doesn't guarantee a win. Fighters in the gold lane actually have a higher win rate than marksmen in solo queue. And here's another game where Temu started making noise and told me I have my own meta. It's really funny, because the hero he's using isn't even in the meta, and I don't even know if he understands what meta means. I swear, players like this are hard to argue with because they don't know how to understand things. They just say a lot, but none of it really makes sense. Anyway, I'll give a little time to my current favorite emote.
Enjoy your last.
You have slain an enemy.
Let's go, darkness.
I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this emote is really cool, but for me it's solid. And you can get it for free, guys, and it's super easy. Just find this page in your ML, click on it, then click submit, click YouTube, paste the link to this video, and then you can draw. Here's another funny moment from this game. Too bad Alpha didn't get finished off.
Let me see your blood.
For Alucard's emblem, I think Temporal Rain is really the best talent for him since he needs it to almost have unlimited skills. And for the build, don't forget Rose Gold Meteor. It's such a huge help, and Alucard can really abuse that item. You can check my full build in the match results, by the way, because a lot of people still ask in the comments even though it's already shown in the video. I just waited for the right timing here because there were a lot of enemies and they had crowd control as well, but I managed to handle it. Too bad though, I thought I was about to get a savage. Here, we wiped out the enemy and ended the game right away. Check out my turret damage later, and for those wondering why I was comboing the turret here, I was just having fun, that's all. And just look at Thamas. He was so loud in the drafting phase but ended up being weak in the game and even got silver.